You can start, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh, Good evening, all. On behalf of Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, I would like to welcome Himan Chaudhary, co-founder of Campus Veda, and respected speakers Nimesh Kandarwal, Senior Software Developer Flipkart, and Yash Jain, Senior Software Developers Amazon, and my dear students. So I would like to welcome you all for this webinar on how different coding skills help to crack the interview and how to take advantages of ongoing COVID situation. So in this current situation, it will be more benefit to our students. So I request all our students to make use of this opportunity for our development. So it will be useful for us. And also I would like to welcome Mr. Kiran sir and also thank Mr. Himan, co-founder of Campus Veda, for their valuable support and giving this presentation to our students. So I request all our students to make use of this opportunity to learn new things, to gain more knowledge in this, from this presentation. Once again, I thank you all. Now I hand over to Mr. Himan Chaudhary, co-founder of Campus Veda, for continued presentation. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. So, hi everyone. This is Himanshu, co-founder at Campus Veda. Before we start, I will give you a short intro about our company. So, basically, we are the platform who empowers the student community. We feel that there is a big gap between the students and the industries. So, we are trying to decrease that gap through e-learning or providing the industry knowledge through internships and project-based learning. And for more details, you can visit our website or we have app also, and you can contact us personally. So we'll start our today's session. So let's call up the speaker for the day, Mr. Nimesh Khandelwal. He is currently working as the senior software engineer in Flipkart, and he is the co-founder mentor at Campus Veda and co-founder at Excola as well. And yes, before we start, I want to inform you that the topic majorly covers how coding helps to crack the placement interviews and how you can take advantage of ongoing COVID situation. And many students have filled the Q&A form also. So we'll answer to your questions in the end of the session. And in case of any doubt, you can ask your questions by unmuting the mic, or you can shoot your questions in the chat box as well. And it's a request to everyone, please turn off your mic and don't share your screen in between the webinar. So now over to Nimesh. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the kind words. Thank you, Manshu, for such an introduction. So I'll just start right away. First of all, really sorry that Yash was not able to join this presentation due to some his work commitments and Amazon due to the ongoing sale. So I will just carry forward this whole presentation. So yeah, I'm Nimesh Khandewal. I'm co-founder Campus Veda and senior software engineer Flipkart. In Flipkart, I work in the data platform team. And today I'm here to talk about college placements and skills required to crack an interview. So initially, just few guidelines during this whole presentation. Please don't switch on your video. It will create unnecessary load on the network and it will create lag to your peers also. You can switch on your mic whenever you have doubt or you want to ask something. Please don't hesitate in asking questions. Just unmute your mic and shoot the questions. You will get a copy of this recorded sessions on your mail, the mail ID that you have given in the registration form. And let's make this session interactive. I hope it will be useful for your careers. And you can ping me anytime later on any platform, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook, if you have any doubts. Please don't hesitate in asking questions. So let's begin with what are the prerequisites for interview? Like, what are the major things that you need to keep in mind while giving an interview? So the list goes like this. So obviously, the first one is good resume. Resume is actually a major role that plays during an interview. It's the first impression that's from your side in the mind of an interviewer. Like if you have a good resume, the interview have an initial perception. Like, yeah, this student might be good. This student has this many skills. This student has done this much projects, this much internships like that. So good resume really helps you in cracking the interview, and it also boosts your confidence while you're giving an interview. Second thing is previous experience. Obviously, being a college fresher, you won't have any prior industry core experience, but you can have an internships. And internships is a great way to have your resume highlighted to make an extra point on your resume. That will really help you during an interview. You will have something to talk about. You also have something to validate your skills that you might have written in your resume. The next one is past projects. Obviously, the projects that you have done during your whole curriculum. I think like most of the curriculum might have integrated projects, or you might have to do projects at end of the semester. So all these projects really help you in highlighting your resume. It also helps you in showcasing your skills. Like for example, you have written in your resume like, I know Java. So like how will the interviewer know like you know Java? Obviously, the projects and the internships that you have done in that domain will help interviewer in understanding like, yeah, this student have this much skills and he has proved that he has acquired the skill. The next goes on the questions that he will ask in the interview. The next thing is good aptitude. The aptitude is currently like the major criteria for some companies like TCS, Infosys. Like these companies focus mainly on aptitude part, like the mathematics part or the aptitude that is usually asked in the competitive exams like that. So that aptitude is really important to, like, it's a kind of major skills for many of the companies. The next one is enhancing communication skills. Obviously, the communication skills is very important while giving an interview. Like this is the core skill that will help you in giving your answers, like having a good impression on the interview and all the other stuff. The last and the most important is grip on the core CS concepts that we will even look in the later stage of presentation. And it includes like what are the subjects or what are the core skills that you should look after for giving a software engineer or data analyst or like a computer science domain interview. So yeah, so what are the company's expectations? Like this is a major question that needs to be answered. Like you might have some perception in mind, like companies usually ask this, I should prepare for this. For example, even if you're like doing a 20 course during a 3 to 4 year curriculum, but what are the core subjects that are important and being asked in an interview? Because obviously your end goal is getting a high paying job. So what are the company's expectations? What do companies really ask? That we are just going to see. So before answering, like what do companies ask? I've divided the companies in 3 categories. I think the same structure is followed by many of the colleges. Like first one is the mass companies and the consultancies. These category of companies include like TCS, Infosys, Capgemini, SCL, like these kind of companies. The pay range of these companies is usually lies between 2 to like 4 lakhs and per annum, like it's a per year salary band. And yeah, these are company like usually hire in bulk. Like for example, if a college strength is 1,000, then they might take around 200, 300. So that might be the ratio for these companies. Second one is the dream companies. Dream companies are the companies whose pay range varies from around 4 to 10 lakhs. So these are the kind of the companies which include like a small scale startup or like a big corporation like KPMG or PwC, like that. And the third category of the companies is the super dream companies. The super dream companies are the companies which is like a dream for everybody. So these companies include a very big startups like Oyo, Paytm, Google, Flipkart, like that, and also the big corporations like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and so on. So let's have a visualization like how each companies normally ask, like what are the skills that you need to have to crack these kind of companies. So first look at the mass companies. The mass companies include TCS, Wipro, Accenture, IBM, SCL, etc. And these are the companies which don't demand very much coding skills from your side. Like they believe in like we hire a person, we will train them, and then he will ultimately do the work. So that is the reason that they even don't look the branch or the course stream that you are part of. Like they might take a computer science engineer, they might take an electrical engineer, they might take a mechanical engineer. That doesn't depend for them. Like they believe like if a person have good communication skills and good aptitude, he can be trained and then he can do the work, whichever the work they want you to do. So obviously, the first skill that they require is good communication skills. You should be very good in communicating with the interviewer. You should highlight your strong points. You should highlight like what you have done in your college, the extracurricular activities, the clubs, chapters, or NGO, or any other stuff that you might have done. And second thing is the good aptitude. Normally, these companies take an aptitude test before like giving an interview. So that is the preliminary test that they usually take. Does somebody want to ask something? I think someone has unmuted their mic. Okay, I'll just continue. Yeah.
Nimish,
so
can you please check? Like, I think you're not presenting. Can you please check with that part?
I think like someone has presented. That's why.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Now is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So the mass companies, I was talking about good aptitude. So the good aptitude is another major skill that you require for cracking the mass companies like TCS, because it is a preliminary test. Like the initial, the first round that you have to give for these companies is the aptitude test. So you have to prepare on your English skills, your math skills, your journal aptitude, puzzle solving, like that. And the next one is like behavioral aptitude, like how you react to a particular situation. For example, an interviewer might ask, like, if you have a conflict with the manager, then how will you resolve it? What will you tell your manager? So these kind of questions are usually the questions that these companies kind of answer. And the various courses that you might see on the websites preparing for an interview are mainly targeted for these kind of companies, because they prepare you for the aptitude, behavioral, and the good communication skills. So yeah, basically these are the skills that you require. The next is the coding skills. Like if you have a good coding skills and good computer science concepts, obviously it's an upper hand for cracking these kind of companies, because even if you are very backward in like in your aptitude part, if you're good in the coding part, they surely will take you, because they know like this person can easily do the work that needs to be done in the company. So yeah, it's a very good to have a coding skills even for these kind of companies. The next one is resume and previous experience. Obviously, this matters a lot. These companies always look for your resume, what you have written in your resume, and questions are always based on like what you have written in the resume. For example, in your resume, you have mentioned like you know Java, so they will ask question about Java. If you have mentioned you know C++, so they will ask about C++. If you have mentioned you know Python, they ask for Python, and so on. Like the skills that you have mentioned in resume will be like tested during an interview. So you have to mention very carefully like whatever you put in your resume. And previous experience plays a very minor role for these kind of companies, because they believe like they will train you rather than you have already an existing skill. So yeah, that's the role. The next one is the dream companies. Dream companies, as I've said, like pay range from 4 to 10 lakhs. And these companies include banks like Standard Chartered or like Bank of America. Like these are the very big corporations. The work there is kind of very cool, and the pay range I've defined it. So these companies look for a good communication skills. So communication skills in these companies is tested via group discussions, via like a 1 minute talk like that. So these companies take activities like this during the preliminary round. Like the first round usually goes on this, like they will have a group discussion or like so on. The next thing that they are looking for is good aptitude, as I've described, like what is the aptitude that they're looking for. The next one is the behavioral aptitude, and the coding skills and the CS concepts also play a very major role in this kind of company. So like the coding skills that they're looking for is like, are you able to write a basic program? For example, if I told you to write a Fibonacci series program, so are you able to write that kind of program? Are you aware like how a particular language works? Like if you've written Java in your resume, do you know the Java concepts? The next thing that they're looking for is like, do you have a basic OOPS concept knowledge, like how the classes work, what is the concept of inheritance, and like that. The next thing that they will look for is the resume and the previous experience. If you have an internship already in your hand before sitting for an interview, it will be really a great booster. Please note that point. Having an internship and the good projects in a resume is a great booster for these categories of the company, because they believe like if a person has already acquired the skills during an internship or the project, he will excel in the job. So even if you don't have very much geeky about the coding skills, If you have an internship or projects, it will surely help. The next category is the super dream companies. Super dream companies include the big startups, Oyo, Paytm, companies like Amazon, Google, like that. And these companies obviously look for the communication skills. The communication skills in these companies required when you're answering the question, like the way you answer the question, the way you are presenting your answer. So there is the communication skills they're looking for. And obviously, these kind of companies always look for the coding skills and the CS concepts. It plays a very, very, very major role. Like, what is the total interview process for this kind of companies? We will talk about this later. But yeah, coding skills is a very important part for these of the companies. They don't demand any aptitude or behavioral questions. They are just looking for the core CS concepts like operating systems, networking, database, object-oriented programming, like one particular language, either Java or C++, like that. So you have to prepare your coding very strong to crack these kind of companies. And resume and experience obviously is always an upper hand for these kind of companies too. If you have a very good resume and if you've done projects and have an internship, it will really help you to crack these kind of companies. So I will just take a pause for right now. If you have any questions till now, please shoot. Like anything, because I've little moved very fast due to the time constraint. So if you have any questions, you can ask right now. We will take the Q&A session later also, but any questions during this whole thing? Like how exactly the interview process works or anything. Please don't hesitate. If you have any doubt, please ask question. I'll just wait for another minute and then we'll resume. Any question, if you have any question, like how actually the Flipkart hire, like we have an opportunity in Flipkart? You can ask any question like. Yeah. One is like how to apply for internships. Okay. So like to apply for an internship, you can take the help of many platforms that are online. Of course, one is ours. We also have a running a community to help you get an internship. It's completely free of cost. You can join our WhatsApp communities. There are various opportunities that are coming on our platform, and you can take advantage of that. Another good platform is Internshala. Obviously, you can apply there and try to get an internship from there also. Like it's your wish. We will also explain like how to do our thing later on this presentation. So you will get an answer to that. Next one is CS concept expectation. Okay, so like let's consider for the super dream company. So the super dream company's interview goes like this. So first of all, they will have a online coding platform round, like a HackerRank or CodeChef round, in which you will be giving like 3 to 4 questions to solve. Like the question will be like write a program for like Fibonacci series, or there'll be a complex data structure problem that will be given to you. So you will be given a like 1 to 1.5 hour time, and during that time you have to code for that particular problem. So that is the first round, in which they test your basic algorithms and data structures part. The second round, usually for these kind of companies, is like interview round. And during that interview round, they will ask you on the concepts like object-oriented programming. First is that, like how you are handling the OOPS concept. What is inheritance, polymorphism, method overloading, method overriding, like all the basic OOPS concept. Second thing that I will ask is your data structures. Yeah.
OOPS calculation of data object.
Sorry, I can't hear you properly. Mani, can you repeat? I was not able to hear you properly. Can you repeat? Okay, I'll just continue. So yeah, OOPS concepts is like the basic, like how the object is created, how the inheritance is handled, how the polymorphism is handled, like that. Second thing that they will ask is the data structures and algorithms. I think it might also be a part of a curriculum, like different data structures like stacks, linked lists, graphs, like different kind of data structures, algorithms like sorting, searching, dynamic programming might be little, strings, like that. And another thing that we will ask is like operating systems and the networking. Like these are the kind of skills that some companies might ask, some might skip. The main is data structures, algorithms, and object-oriented programming. If you prepare these two, you can easily crack any super dream company that pay above 10 plus. The more you prepare, the better the company you get. So yeah, basically these are the...
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in the coding round, whether they check the efficiency of the code or only if I'm able to complete it or not?
No, actually, the efficiency is always tested. Like the platform that they will help. Like for example, if you're
Yeah.
giving a test on HackerRank, so
Yeah.
it might be possible that if your code is not efficient, it might time out. You might have faced many timeout
Yeah.
errors, right? So
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
the efficiency is always tested. If you know about the like how you measure the time complexity, so it's
Big
a
O
big O
notation.
notation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
sir.
try to write your algorithm in like O of n log n or O of n. Like most of the
Okay.
questions that they will ask will be along these time complexity only. So
Yeah.
try to do that. So you can practice it on Geeks for Geeks, HackerRank, and there's also
Yeah.
very
Code
nice
chef.
book.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
CodeChef. So there are various
Yes.
platforms in which you can practice. And there's also a good book by Narasimha Karumanchi, Data Structures and Algorithms. Even if you prepare half of that book, you can crack any interview. Like
Okay,
it's
sir.
that good a book.
Okay,
So
sir.
Sir, my
Thank you, sir.
question, sir,
yeah.
my question is, sir, is paid internship is best or unpaid internship is best? Because there will be some slight difference or value for paid and unpaid. Can you
Um,
explain?
yeah, sure. Like the paid and unpaid internship, it only matters for you. Like it doesn't matter
Yeah.
like on your resume. Like if
Yes, sir.
you want to learn something and you don't have a skill
Oh,
right now, then you should always go for
yes.
unpaid one because they
Yeah.
won't have any expectations from you. So you can learn, you can make mistakes, and even
Mhm.
you won't get scolded for that. But
Yes,
if
sir.
you are doing unpaid internships, there's a lot of expectations from you. They will expect like you know everything and you just have to do the work.
Yeah.
So
So
like it depends.
unpaid. So
Hmm?
from for by doing unpaid means
Hmm?
they will see our potential, isn't it?
Yeah,
Means
exactly. Exactly,
exactly right.
exactly.
Yeah,
During an
that's what
unpaid, they
I'm.
will see your potential.
Yeah, for every company there will be some vision because for you it's Amazon and Flipkart. Means for
Hmm.
every employee or every colleague who is working in each and every MNCs, they will have their own vision.
Exactly.
So 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 by doing unpaid, it is means how much talent and how much technical thinking you are having, they will be might knowing. Means
Yeah,
if you mention in resume that I had done an internship in like HCL as an what kind of work like analyst, like
Mhm.
system analyst example
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Mhm.
So it will be considered as an unpaid. So the when we are applying for an interview, the
Mhm.
interviewer might not have any doubt upon a student, means which in
Exactly.
which exactly I'm right now, sir.
Yeah, yeah, but you're
Okay,
completely
sir.
right. Even during my stint at my college, I
Yeah,
did around two unpaid internships, and the last semester I did a paid one.
yeah,
Because
because
during an unpaid
uh,
internship, what I learned was tremendous. Because they used to give me any number of tasks because they think like
yeah,
it doesn't cost them
yeah,
anything. And
because
in the exchange,
my
I learned a lot.
yes, sir.
Literally, I learned a
Uh,
lot because today what I am is because of those internships, the boost they have given me,
yes,
like
sir.
due to which only I've acquired this skill. So obviously, you should
Yeah,
always
because
go.
my one of my cousin sister who is working currently in Bangalore in 4 years.
Okay,
She is
that's nice.
yes. So she is doing. She is an operator, means system and means I don't know exactly the post which she is having, but she is a developer of all the kind of means automation processes, like
Okay.
RPA automation. So she is doing from DevOps. So she
That's
told that unpaid is the best, where you means where you by your legs you can show your knowledge and coding skills in front of an
exactly,
interview. So
exactly,
that the
exactly.
doubt which I'm having, because all my friends and all my seniors are going to some companies like startups and they're paying money, and so means we can go for training by paying money and we can get placed. But for internship, if we go for like unpaid ones, it will be good. I think so. Means I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
It's completely right. It's completely true. Like if you're going for
Oh,
unpaid internship, starting it's very, very nice.
okay, sir. Thanks for your time, sir.
Yeah, sure. So moving forward, like for mass companies, basic programming concepts are enough. I mean, basic programs are enough. Yes, for the mass companies, basic programming knowledge is completely enough. You don't need to have a very high-fi coding skills or knowledge of the annotations, the advanced algorithms. You don't need to have that. A mass, just writing the basic program is enough. If you are able to write like reverse the integer, reverse the string, that kind of program is more than enough.
Sir,
Next one is
one more question. Sir,
Yeah.
when we are being tested with an code like I write a program for factorial of 8 using C++ or Java in a code
Mhm.
way, they will be given some time, right, no, sir?
Yeah,
If
obviously
we,
you will get
yeah,
some time.
yeah, in a
It's not like,
technical run, I'm saying.
yeah,
So
you will get time.
sometimes we may not in writing means in a theory way we can write means the output and all, but if we go with a system or PC in front of an interview,
Mhm.
sometimes the output won't come. So what kind of situation we might face in front of them?
Actually, the thing is, like, if you're not able to answer a very easy question,
Yes,
then
sir.
the companies might take it. It is possible that companies might take it as a negative thing. But if the same is happening for a very tough questions, the companies don't take it as negative. Even I will tell you my experience. Like when I was giving an interview of Amazon, like I also
Yes.
got an offer from Amazon, but
Okay.
at that time I was not able to answer a particular question because I didn't prepare well for that kind of domain. So obviously I faced some problem, but the problem was tricky. So interviewer helped me, and that was a kind of positive thing. Like if you take help from the interviewer for a tough question and then you're able to crack, that doesn't matter. Like your
Because
approach to a
yes,
particular
sir.
question is the major thing that an interviewer is looking for. So
Because as a student,
mm,
when I was practicing coding, means I was practically doing coding,
mm,
I'm nervous because the output never comes because I sometimes won't follow indentation of the lines of code. So
mm.
I feel like nervous when we are writing a code because it might come or it might not come, and I take help from the libraries and all.
Yeah,
So
that is completely
yes,
fine. Like it doesn't matter. No one is expecting you to give a complete correct answer at the first shot.
yes, sir.
Obviously, you will take multiple iterations and then only you will crack the
Yeah,
particular.
right.
Yeah,
Because
obviously that.
most of them can write a code, but they are missing out like indentation level.
Mm,
In which way we write, you'll get an output.
yeah, exactly.
That's the problem. Many of them are facing. Not even I. Most of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a problem with student, but it will like go eventually when you have an
Uh,
experience. Don't
yes,
worry
sir.
about that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, sure. Moving forward, like is competitive programming more important? It's important if you are want to crack like a dream or a super dream category of company. The competitive programming plays a very major role in developing a coding skills. That's it. It doesn't matter on a resume or like that. So please try competitive programming. And how to plan internship, I will answer later and brief I've given you right now. Overview of organization structure and roles. Is it require any prior knowledge of on-demand technologies like ML, data science, big data for freshers? Okay, so like a different kind of company has different kind of structure in their organization. Like I can give you an example of Flipkart. So in Flipkart, we have a very multiple roles. Like there's a software development and test that is majorly doing a testing part. There's a software developer like me, which develops the whole program or the whole set of applications for the organization. There is also a business analyst that analyzes the business, the reports, that kind of thing. There's one that is responsible for a data scientist that does all the ML stuff and the algorithms for predicting like what you're going to buy next. So yeah, different roles have different responsibilities, and no one is expecting freshers to know any of these. The companies always expect if you're fresher, you will learn those skills when you're in a company. If you have those skills, it's good. If you don't, then it doesn't matter. Even if you want to apply for a big data role and you don't have any clue about the big data, it's completely fine. For freshers, there is no expectations. So rather than focusing on learning big data and ML right now, focus on learning the coding, the algorithms, data structures, operating system, DBMS, like that kind of subjects, rather than focusing on these kind of texts, even though you want to make a career in them. Okay, moving forward, what will be the basic salary for those companies? Like which kind of companies? Like I've given a basic range, right? Hima, can you like elaborate further the question?
Yes, sir. Basic company. Hello.
Basic companies as in? Like for which company do you want to have an idea for? For which category? Am I not audible? I think. Okay, no issues. We can ask later too. So like coding output is very important in interview. Yes, it's important, but even if the approach is correct, you will be considered. So try to practice more rather than worrying about like whether the output is correct or not. So you will get the output eventually in multiple iterations. So that's not to worry. What would you pick between React and Angular? Like it's a completely your choice. It's totally literally your choice. Both are equally good. It's just a developer's choice. Like I usually prefer React over Angular. There's no specific reason, just my preference. Okay, so now we'll just move forward with the presentation and we'll just pick up all these questions later on. Don't worry, I will pick all the questions. Okay, so
Thank you.
coming to the next thing. So let's have an analogy of like how interview works. So interview is just similar to the cricket. Like whenever the Indian team is like going to face some team, like, so there is some weakness for in Australia. That the same weakness is not for an Indian team, right? Like I don't remember exactly a particular point, but the point is like each team has the different weak points. Similarly, each company's demands something different. You have to treat each company's interview different. You can't apply the same methodologies for all the companies. Like I'll give you an example. Like the mass companies usually prefer the communication skills or good aptitude, but the same is not true for a super dream company. So you need to keep in mind like which companies are you targeting for, and you have to practice accordingly. Like if you want to target for a very high paying job, you should always try to focus on the coding skills. If you are trying to go for a mass company, secure a job first, then you should focus on the aptitude. So try to research like which company you are going for and prepare accordingly. And obviously you can give multiple interviews and you just have to crack one. It doesn't matter if you have 99 failures. If you have just one success, the job is done. So that's the best thing about interview. Like you just have to crack one interview. Okay, so before giving an interview, always analyze the company, like what the company is doing, what the company is looking for, because these ideologies will surely help an interview. Like during an interview, if you answer according to the company's methodologies and company's culture, it will really help. Like I will give an example. Like at the Flipkart, we have a culture of being audacious, means like you are bold in taking decisions. So if you demonstrate that skill with your projects, it will have a very, very strong impression on an interviewer. So keep that in mind, research the company and answer accordingly. And one thing is, please don't chase one company. Like for example, if you have a goal to, let's say, go in KPMG, then don't just like prepare only for KPMG. Don't be like that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because that will really harm you. Because if in worst case, you're not selected for that particular company, you will get really disheartened, and even all the other opportunities will also fade away. So don't do that. Be very open to the opportunities. First, try to secure a job and then focus on targeting your dream company. And obviously, you have nothing to lose. Like you already have nothing. So even if you crack one interview, it's a very, very great thing. And celebrate it. Like even if you crack a single round. Next thing is the coding skills required for cracking a particular interview. So I will just focus on like the whole agenda. Like it doesn't matter whether you want to crack a mass, dream, or super dream. These are the skills that you should surely have. Like if you want to have a journey as a software developer, not even in the college time, it will also help you in the later stages of life. Because even with an experienced developer, these skills are surely tested during an interview. So the first one is obviously data structures and algorithms. It is the basic skill that is always tested during an interview. I'm audible, right? I think my mic goes off. Can anyone confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, Nimesh, you are audible.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll continue. So yeah, data structure algorithms is like the basic skill that you need to crack any dream company interview or super dream company interview. I think this might have also been included in your curriculum. If not, please try to learn from various online platforms like Geeks for Geeks. Even on the campus, we have a particular course for that, and various online platforms. You can try on HackerRank, CodeShare, TopCoder, LeetCode, like any other interview bit. You can try these platforms to learn and acquire these skills. These skills, you can complement it with the comparative programming. You can try to solve multiple algorithm questions. Start from the basic one, like reversing an integer, and try to go for like a tougher one, like a dynamic programming question. So try to acquire as much skills as you can in data structure algorithms. One thing that I want to tell you is like no one can perfect this skill. Like this subject is so vast that you can't cover it as a whole. So try to go ladder by ladder. rather than being disheartened that I'm not able to solve this question. Focus on the questions that you can solve rather than focusing on the one that you can't solve. So start easy and then climb a ladder. And obviously, as I've mentioned, like you can take help of any platform. One is that is my favorite is Geeks for Geeks. Geeks for Geeks has a library of questions that you might be like asked in an interview. Like the questions usually comes in a copy paste manner. Like the same question is in Geeks for Geeks and an interview asks the same one. So try to prepare from that if you can. And language doesn't matter. Please don't ask about the language priority. The interviewer doesn't care about the language that you're using. You can code in Java, C++, Python. It's completely your choice. Like it doesn't matter which language you choose and which language you're comfortable in. Write the code in that. Next subject that you need to, yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can you please put more light on projects, like what type of projects and what type of projects are more eye-catching, and what types of project we should do, and how we should publish our projects and represent our projects? Can you please put some light on this?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so first let's cover that. So like for the projects thing, like for example, if you are being in the college, you might not be sure like what domain you want to enter in. So try to focus on the projects that can be displayed. I will give an example. So like if you're interested in web development, try to make some web development projects and host it on online. So rather than mentioning on your resume, like I've done this project, you can just mention the link of the project. This looks really good. And you can also try to build your GitHub profile. Like whatever projects you do, it doesn't matter what the project you do. What matters is like whether you have displayed your skill in that project or not. Like a web development project will also suffice. If you've written some research paper, that will also suffice. Like if you have done some machine learning algorithm by learning some codes, that will also be good. So it doesn't matter like which project you do. Just try to explain the project in your resume in like 2 to 3 lines. Like this is the project and I've done this part and I've displayed this is the skill. So that is only sufficient. Like, did I answer the question?
Yes, sir.
Or,
Sure. I have developed a website and I'm trying to make it more interactive, and I have put that on my GitHub profile. So if I mention that in my resume, then will it be good? Will it be beneficial?
Yeah, obviously, any project that you mention in your resume is always beneficial because by default, there's nothing expected from a college fresher. If you have something extra, it's really highlights on a resume. So try to host it on the GitHub pages, search for it, like how to host on GitHub pages, and then you will get a URL. Then also mention the URL of that project. So yes. Yeah, that will be really a very good point on your resume.
And what type of projects Google is looking for? Like,
okay, if you want to apply for Google.
Yeah. Is there any specialization?
Like if you want to apply for Google, the main thing that I would recommend you is to prepare for data structure algorithm rather than on the projects, because they ask really tough data structures and algorithms questions. Tough means really tough. So try to invest your time in that side rather than on the projects. If you have some projects, Google normally asks for the GitHub profile link rather than looking over the resume. So build up your GitHub profile while contributing on the various open source projects. And if not, then prepare data structure algorithms very strongly. Like, yes, very tough.
Sir, there is a program called Python language, sorry. So in that also OOPS concept is available. So in Python you have two types, right? One is core Python and advanced Python. I'm talking about advanced Python. In advanced Python you have two types. One is object-oriented program system and another is functional oriented program. But functional we may not use more, but object-oriented is we are using. So we can prefer before a company that I am perfect in Python, so that he or she might be asking on OOPS concept exactly.
Yeah, I will give an example. Like the OOPS concept is obviously a really important one. You have to have knowledge of basic OOPS concept, and same is applicable to all the languages. It doesn't matter C++, Java, Python. But
because
what happens
is because for every language, the concept of classes and objects is important.
Exactly. But the problem is like what happens with Python. I will tell. That's why I written paper C++ or Java. There is a reason behind it. Like
Okay.
what happens is, like, even if you know Python perfectly, it might be
Yes.
possible like the day-to-day job for an interview is on Java. Like Java is the most common language in our industry. Like it always
Okay.
preferred for any big scale
Means
MNC.
for
So what
every
happens is like,
industry, for
no, no,
every
no, no, not
industry
for every
or
industry. For a big corporation, if someone wants to
okay.
build an application that scale, it's obviously in Java. But you'll understand it later when you gain experience. So Python is normally used as a scripting language rather than the development language. It's used for like machine learning, algorithms part. If you want to scriptize something like that, there lies the major use case of Python. So what might happen is like during an interview, the interview might not be aware of like the core concept of Python because the Python is not a day-to-day language for him. So even he is aware of the core concepts, he might not be aware of the syntax. So he might not be able to judge you properly. So that's the return C plus or Java because these two languages are the most popular one. So there's a high chance that the interview might go in very interactive way.
Okay.
Python, there's no problem, not at all a problem because no one judges for the language, but it's just a recommendation.
Because while we are starting and means while we are starting when we are starting our what engineering first year, every lecture is used to tell us to be good in one proper language
Exactly.
and one domain.
Yeah.
Means if you want to get into hardware, means as I'm an electronic and communication student, so I'm mostly interested in software field. But if I may not choose domain, is there any problematic situations I may appear for that?
No, not at all. Like even when I was in college, like I only prefer to write code in C++ or Python. Like Python even used to be my favorite.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and even I was clueless like what I'm going to do when I'm going to be in the company. So I just
Yes.
build like websites, the web development projects I used to do in the college. Python I use Django, if you might be aware of it.
Library,
Like
like
these,
it is a library.
yeah. Yeah, so I've used to like write a code in that, and I also used to try to solve some, like I've taken an N2NG course in Coursera for the machine learning part. If anyone are interested in, then you might know about it. So I was clueless, like which domain should I choose? But when you enter in a company, the situation is altogether different. You get a
Yes.
whole new
Because,
perception about like how the industry works. And now I have written like in Java for the past 2.5 to 3 years. So like Java, I've even not written a single line during my college days. But I learned in the company, I have mastered it. So
because
that
the things which we are studying and the things which we are applying in the company is totally different.
exactly. And even the startup that we have founded, the Campus Veda, it mainly aims for that only. Like the skills that the college students have and the
Yes.
skill that industry wants. There's a very huge
Industry,
gap between that.
yes,
Even I
sir.
have faced it during my initial times. I used to like work very long hours just to cope up with that difference. So even during our startup only, we are trying to bridge that gap. So
Because
that is
I
the
take
whole aim.
suggestions from my sister actually. Because she used to tell the thing which you're learning, it might not happen in your job because every day we used to have big data. We used to we used to use Python, but we are using mostly like automation process. Means the things which you're learning is different from applying in the job
Exactly.
in the job days.
That was the whole concept behind Campus Veda, like
Yes,
to
yes,
train
yes.
you the skills that are required for that particular job.
Because the background is totally different. But front end means we used to call like front end developer and back end developer. Between that stack something.
Yeah, exactly. Even I am like a big data. Let's not go there. So yeah, I will just continue.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So coming to the next part, DBMS.
Ramesh, sorry to interrupt you. Can you present your screen again?
Okay. I think there's some.
And
Guys,
it's a
please
request to everyone
don't
not to
present.
present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one is database management system. It's another important core CS concepts apart from data structures and OOPS. If you know it, it's a very good to have skill. You should know like how to write a basic SQL syntaxes, like how to have multiple joins, inner join, outer join, where clause, from clause, or various other things that SQL have. Don't go in the advanced SQL concept, just the basic one, writing a simple query. If you know, because normally the companies of categories of Dream and Super Dream always ask to write a join based query. They will give you 2 to 3 table structures and then will ask you to extract the data out of it. So obviously you have to apply your SQL skills. The next thing that you should know about database management system is normalization. I think it might also be in your syllabus, like 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, 4NF. So if not, try to learn them. There are various YouTube tutorials that are currently present on the internet. My favorite is the Knowledge Gate. It's a YouTube channel that will really help you to acquire the database management system skills. Like, it's a very good channel. It has described all the things in detail. So try to acquire this. And another one is OSN networking. These are like a good to have skill. Even if you don't have, you can ask your interviewer that I don't know about this much in detail. The interviewer don't mind it. Like, it's normal to not know much about it. So if you have it, it will add a very good impression on the interviewer. Like, you are even good in OSN networking. So try to build skills on operating system networking only if you have an extra time. First, prepare on data structure and algorithms. Then if time is left, prepare on OOPS. If time is left, prepare on SQL and DBMS part. If still time is left, then go for operating system and networking. You can learn operating system networking from the YouTube channel Knowledge Gate that I mentioned, and Tutorials Point or various other websites that are available on the internet. Next thing is the projects and internship. As I mentioned, like if there are two resumes, like one is simple, in which he has mentioned, I know this. I've done this much course, I have this much CGPA, like that. And another resume is the one which has showcased projects. Like, I've done this as a project, I've done this as an internship. Obviously, the resume with an internship and project will always have a good perception in the mind of an interviewer. The interviewer will always have a bias over that resume, even if he doesn't want to, because it's an initial first impression, right? So he might ask some easy questions to him, or he might ignore his mistakes thinking that it might be just a bad day. So obviously, this really helps. The project doesn't matter in which tech you are done. You have done the projects to validate your skills, that is enough. If you have done some internships, that is enough. Like, it's a very, very, very good point to highlight this resume. So try to acquire some internship if you can, and try to do some projects. For the internship part, we can help you. Our startup is doing the same thing. We have formed a WhatsApp community. You can join it. There are around 10 to 15 internships posted during a week. So you can try to grab one. Yeah. So
One last question.
yeah.
Sir, if a history student is doing an hardware internship in a hardware company like ECIL, you got it, sir? So the same student can get into a software field to an interview. Means he will be, because when we are having an interview before an recruiter or HR, so he will be asking that why you need this software job. You had done an internship in hardware industry, but how can you manage? You can manage both, but you might have an doubt that how you might come into software.
No. Actually, that's not the case. Even the case is totally opposite. Like, internships are usually meant to give you a quick overview about an industry.
Yes.
Like how the industry works. For example, if you're doing an internship in PC-based industry, so like you can easily tell, like, I've tried to internship doing that, and I didn't find interest in that field. Then I tried to do some projects on software industry, and then it really got my mind and try to be in that area. That's why I'm giving an interview. So
because I heard one company called an ESAP solution. ESAP. It is in Chennai, like Ambattur, I think so. The company wants means an employee should be dedicated. Means if he is dedicated to software field, he should have an internship only in software. Or else, if a student has done an internship in hardware side, means like ECL, I told, etc., he should have an hardware domain only. Means the company is asking in this way. Means the resume also should be in. It means it demands.
That should not be the case. Like, if you have any doubt regarding this, we can take it offline too. Like, we can connect it offline and then we can discuss it further. Like, due to restriction of time, I have to hurry faster.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So I will just continue with the Q&A, like the questions that are coming in the message. Like, is big data important for fresher, or they accept any other? It's not important for freshers. You can choose any domain you want. If you want to enter big data later, you can easily enter. Even in my case, I've done projects in web development, and today I'm a big data engineer at Flipkart. So really, it doesn't matter. And next one is like, how can we overcome anxiety during an interview? It's a whole separate topic, and it requires a very lengthy discussion. But in short, I can just tell you, practice mock interviews. If you give more and more mock interviews, your anxiety and hesitation to give an interview will comes out. So you will even excel during a real interview. Try to give mock interviews with your friends or with your colleagues, or there are various platforms that also allows to have a mock interview. Next one is, if you want to get in a product-based company, you will competitive program at any value to my resume. Yes, the competitive programming is very important if you want to get in a product-based company. It's very much important. It's like the most important skill to get in a product-based company. The next one is, would the front-end developers will have scope in getting high in demand? Yes, both front-end and back-end developers are very high in demand. If you have the right skill, then you will surely get a good pay and a good company. So it doesn't matter like which domain you choose. The front-end developers are also way too high in demand, similar to the back-end developer. Is competitive programming necessary or not? Competitive programming, as I explained, it's necessary if you want to go in a like dream or super team category company. If you want to go in a mass company, that is not necessary. Okay, your startup is just like Pesto. Not exactly like Pesto. Pesto is actually a company which trains students to get a job, and then they charge you around 15 to 20% of the stake when you get a job. We don't do that. We have a very different model. We train the students, and then we help them get an internship, and then they get a PPO offer or something like that. We give the companies an option to apply for a job free of cost. We don't charge or take a cut from a salary like that. It's completely different. For more details about the campuses, we will also be sharing a brochure and the website link. You can visit that and have a very good info. But we don't take any part of your salary. And Pesto takes like 10 to 15% of your annual gross salary after you get placed. Okay, so like I will just stop right now and then I will continue presentation, then we will come again. Now coming to the off-campus. So like obviously there will be a tremendous opportunities for you on the off-campus. Even I've visited your college brochure, like really your college is onboarding various great companies for the college placements. But even if you want to achieve for the higher goals, for the higher companies that might not visit in your college due to some unforeseen reasons, then you can obviously apply for an off-campus. It's obviously tough for the freshers because they don't have any prior experience, but it is not that it's not possible. Like it might be possible that you apply for 10 to 15 companies and only 2 to 3 must turn out. But those 2 to 3 you can easily try to crack an interview. And if you have an internship, it always an upper hand to get an interview scheduled in that company. So if you're applying for an off-campus, please have an internship or a very good project with you. Otherwise, it's really very difficult. And try to build a LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is a social platform. I think most of you are aware of that. And it's a very great tool for the professionals. You can try to build your network. You can have a connection from the companies in which you want to be in. Like for example, if a goal is to be in a company like Google, then try to make a connection with a software engineer at Google. Then he might refer you in this company or like that. And obviously, with the off-campus, you just need one success. So try hard and hard. Okay, so we will look at the Mythbuster later. Just 1 to 2 questions I will take. And how to prepare for top product-based companies. Please give me the roadmap. Like in the whole presentation, as I've given you, I will just brief it out. First of all, there will be a HackerRank or CodeChef or any other coding platform based down. Then there will be 2 to 3 rounds of interview, then 1 HR round, and then if you're getting an offer, you will get it. The skills that are required is the competitive programming-based skills, data structure and algorithms, object-oriented programming, operating systems, networking, DBMS. Like the skills that I mentioned in this presentation, all of them are required to crack a product-based company interview. Yeah, so let's complete the Mythbuster part. So we have listened various myths about like what is in the mind of a college student. So we'll try to shatter all those. First thing is, a college student thinks like college matters a lot. In your case, your college have a very good set of companies that come for them on-campus interviews. But in some case, they might not. Obviously, the college doesn't matter when you get in an industry. All it matters is the skills. So please don't be disheartened if you're not in a very big name like IIT or NIT. It really doesn't matter. it's just for the first job, it might matter, otherwise it doesn't. So try to focus on your skills rather than on a college name. Second thing is, I've seen like many people try to focus on a big MNCs rather than they want a brand name or they want a huge name on a resume. In initial stage, I feel like you should try joining startups. Even though it seems like startups are risky, they are not. Please try to join a startup if you can. You will learn a lot in a startup than when you compare it to the MNCs. Various MNCs like KPMG, PwC, they are usually focused on doing a menial work. Like the skills that you might acquire will take a lot of time. While in startup, you can learn that skill in like 1/10 of a time. So please try to join startup if it is possible. Next thing is, no use to prepare for interview before final year. Many students think that like when the interview will happen, I will just prepare 2 to 3 months before that. I hope that might not be the case with you guys, but it's a very usual case. So please break that perception. As early as you can try to prepare for an interview, it's the better. So if you're in second year, start preparing now. If you're third year, start preparing now itself. So the early is the better. Myth 4. Yeah.
Sir, in our college life, we need to publish our research papers. So what's the correct time to publish that research paper, and what type of like research paper is more like glorifying, and what type of research we should do, sir?
Yeah, actually, I will be not the right person to answer that question because I don't have much expertise on that. But just from an overview and experience and seeing my peers doing that, I can easily say like if you are doing a research paper, do only if you want to go for MS or like that. And I think HOD sir or your faculty might be able to answer that properly. Really, I'm not the right person to answer that question. I might misguide you, so I will just skip that one. Sorry for that.
Okay, thank you.
Next one is high-paying jobs are only reserved for CS engineers. That's also not true. Even I will give an example. Like the director at my company, the Flipkart, my director is from a mechanical background, and he's also from, I think I'm correct, I don't remember his university name, but yeah, basically he's from mechanical background. So it's not like only CS engineers can go into the product-based companies. Usually the companies don't see your stream; they only see your skills. So try to focus on the skills rather than swimming about your branch. Next one is the most qualified will get the job. Like in your college, you might have seen like some students always sit before the computer and try to do something. And you might get demotivated like, oh my God, he is doing such a lot and I'm not doing that thing. Will I get a good job? It's not like that. If you have the right skill set and if you have trained yourself properly in a limited amount of time, that is sufficient rather than doing around 14 to 15 hours of coding and then acquiring almost nothing. So try to focus on the right skill set and invest your time properly. Next one is soft skills don't matter. Normally, the geek or the core computer science engineer tendency is to just focus on the coding skills. And in the meantime, he forget to acquire some soft skills like good communication skills, good behavioral skills. He forget to acquire that. I think it's little wrong to go about in that direction because when you're giving an interview, even though you know the right answer, but how you present your answer, how you handle like a negative situation is really very important when you're giving an interview. And if you don't have the right skill to manage the situation, it will really affect you in getting a place in a very good company. So try to work on your soft skills too. It's really important. And next one is interview wants to stump you. Everyone thinks like interview will ask me very hard questions. He will not support me. He just want to reject me. It's not like that. Interviewer is just asking a question because he wants a good candidate for his team. That is the only reason why he might ask you a different set of questions. And it's not like that he don't want to help you. If you ask for help in any other question, he will surely help you. In data structures algorithms part, it is always expected, even from the interviewer side, like he will expect that you might ask him more questions about the particular problem that he has given you. For example, if I give you a very hard dynamic programming question, it's obviously that you can't solve it on your own. You will surely need to take a help. And don't hesitate to take a help. Please ask for help if it is required. It's better than doing nothing about the problem than asking for the help. So please do ask for help during an interview if it's required. Now I'll just take further more question. Now I've given the roadmap. How to get the PPU in college. The only way to get a PPU in college is to get an internship first. If your college provides an internship, in a company, then obviously they like your work, they will convert it to the PPO. As I mentioned, we also run a WhatsApp-based community. You can join there, you can acquire internship there, and then get a PPO from there. Now I will just explain like what we are really doing as a Campus Veda. Like we believe, as you mentioned, like normally a student tries to apply for various companies for his internship, for his job, and he didn't get the job. Like, so we, even during my journey and by talking to my peers also, we have discovered that the main reason like the people are facing such a difficulty in getting the job is because the college education and the things that you want to be doing in the company, there's a little gap between that. It's not like that the college students education will not help you in getting a job. Obviously it will help you in getting a job, but the gap needs to be filled. So that is where we came. So we are an e-learning platform that offers you variety of courses, variety of live classes, and along with that we offer you a short internship program in which you will surely get an internship if you done our course properly. So that is basically our whole agenda. I will just go through it very fast. Yeah, so once you apply with the Campus Veda, and then he gets a job. Like, so that's the basic idea. Like Campus Veda will train you properly to help you get an interview for internship or for a job. Next news is like we host a webinar every Saturday. Our current batch, I think, will be completed by October 5 or 10th. After that, we are starting a new session. It's completely free of cost. If you want, you can attend it. It will be based on the various different topics like web development, interview preparation, how to prepare for the interview, what are the skills required. We will try to prepare on all those skills. For more details, you can contact us separately. And we will be communicating you via email regarding all the updates for this webinar. Please do join this webinar if you have time. And during the webinar, you will learn various skills that is required for cracking a software engineer interview. The trainers will be from the big corporations like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Flipkart. So yeah, they have a tremendous set of skills that they will help you in getting the same. And you will get an internship and job offers by just attending the webinar. And as I mentioned, it's completely free. So please do attend those. And yeah, as I mentioned, like the job referrals will also be there on the same companies from which the instructors are training you. And there will be also networking opportunities. You will have a connection in various companies and they will surely help you getting a job and save. So please try to take this opportunity. And next thing is, we also have mentioned on a Campus Veda community. Himanshu and Kiran will share a link for the same, and you can be a part of that and get the regular updates on job, interviews, training materials like that. It's completely free of cost. So there's no harm in joining that, and take this advantage. Like, please do join. I think my presentation was again. Yeah, I think there was some network connection issue. Yeah, so that's it from my side. And if you have any question and answer, you can now shoot away. So first I will answer the message question, like, is there given higher priority to the students who completed master degree? Yeah, like there is some priority given to the master degree. Yes, you're correct. Like some priority is given. Himanshu from IIT BHU, like I didn't get you. Like, what do you want to ask? Megha, can you open your mic and speak up? Like, are you asking for our Himanshu? Like, is he from IIT BHU?
So, okay, Nimesh, like, meanwhile, we can take up the Q&A questions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we are short on time. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So one by one, I'll ask the question you have to answer. The first question is how to crack the system-based interviews. And mostly like you have answered all the questions. So I'll just take up few questions. First one is how to crack the system-based interview.
I think system-based, you are meant to say like the HackerRank or the LeetCode, that kind of test. So obviously that comes from practice. You need to practice on these online platforms only to help you acquire the skills that is required. You need to do more computer programming, more data structures algorithms, and then it becomes like a cakewalk for you to crack these interviews.
Okay, next question is how to easily learn coding. Which coding is the best and what is the best platform platform, and how to increase coding knowledge?
Yeah, actually, there is no as such best platform to acquire the coding skills. All platforms are equally good. All have their own advantages and disadvantages. Like HackerRank is a very good platform to learn the coding questions, but the questions that are asked in the HackerRank platform are very different from the one that you will be asked in an interview. But obviously, you will acquire the skills. The CodeChef also is a very good platform, but I think its user interface is just a little bit messed up compared to the other competitors. But the quality of questions is really very good. So you can also practice there. There is a platform known as InterviewBit, if you're aware of it. Then it's also a very good platform to prepare for the interview. The questions are normally of the same level that are asked in an interview. So all platforms are good. You can try any of them. Yeah, Mashu.
So here is an interesting question. Is there any other way without coding to get hired?
Like if you want to have a software engineering job, then obviously you need to learn some coding. But if you don't like coding, you can try for different profiles. Like there's a role for analyst that doesn't require coding. There is also a role in consultancies companies that don't require coding. So yeah, obviously there are very large pool of companies that don't demand coding. You can explore the same. Like I mentioned few roles, analyst or consultant.
Okay, which course has a good scope? Like in terms of coding part, which coding is language is trending?
Like there is no particular coding language that is trending. All coding languages are equally good. It's just a matter of preference. Like if you're asking about the language in which you should code, being in the college, I think you should prefer either Python or C++ or Java. Just between these three. Python is very easy to learn and it's very fast to code. So you can try with that. Java is the language that is, I've said you like, it's basically used in most of the industry. So you can try that, but it's like a little bit messy to write for a competitive programming. C++ is also a very strong language. It's in the between of Java and Python. It's easy to learn. It's easy to write. There's a whole set of libraries that you can use. It's just a matter of preference. If you like Python, go for Python. If you like Java, go for Java. Like that. There's no best.
Okay, how to get internship? What are the different platforms?
Like there are various platforms for getting an internship. One is Internshala, one is ours. Obviously, I will prefer ours because like in Internshala, you might apply for like many of the companies and you might not receive a call because normally the companies that are hiring on the Internshala look for the previous internship experience that you have. So like it's a cycle. For getting an internship, you need an internship. So you get stuck around there. And our platform, if you join our community, then we don't want you to have any such skill or any such prior internship experience. There will be various internships that we will shoot to you. You can apply for them. We will vouch for you in those companies because the companies trust us. Like they know if we are giving recommendation for a particular candidate, he or she can surely perform. So you can be a part of a WhatsApp community that we will brief out later, and then you can easily get an internship through that.
So okay, Nimish, that's it from the Q&A form side. Now we have few questions in the chat box also.
Okay, right. Sir, I'm a learner of computer programming, so can you help us suggest? I think I didn't get your question. Farinda, can you just explain it a little bit? Like what you really want to ask?
Sir, I didn't know about any computer language, sir.
Okay, so like you want to know like for which programming language should you go?
Yes, sir.
If you have not learned anything yet, then go for either C++ or Python. Like if you can go, try for that. Like both are easy and good to know.
Sir, any platform suggestions, sir?
Yeah, you can take the help from Tutorials Point. It's a very good site to acquire these languages. They have described in very detail about each of the things.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Next is what are the best frameworks for web development? Like it depends on the language of your choice. Like, yeah, Gayatri, can you explain like which language do you use? So I can suggest accordingly. Okay, no issues. Like if you're using Python, then you can go for Django or yeah, Django is like most preferable. If you're going for Java, you can prefer Spring Boot. If you're going for Node or JavaScript, you can use Express. So yeah, pretty much that's it. And CBMS administrator, like I didn't get you. Like Hema, what question do you want to ask? Okay, no issues. Next one is what analysts do. Analyst role is to basically analyze the reports, like the business that is going for a particular company. Like for example, if there's a sale going on in Flipkart, then analyst role is to decide like which discounts needs to be given on which product, what are the expected sales, how will the users actually interact, playing in the numbers like that. So that is basically what analysts do. Next is, I'm a big data aspirant. I need guidance and awareness of big data job profiles. What responsibility differ from the government sector and companies of big data domain? Like there's a very whole set of questions, and due to time restriction, I will not be able to answer that. I will share my email ID and my phone number. You can contact me there to get your doubts clarified. Next one is, which language is more demand? Is Java good? Obviously, it's very good. If you can learn Java, it's a very good language to step up in industry. What's your take on MySQL? MySQL is a basic skill that you require to crack any interview. As I mentioned, DBMS, you should know. So obviously, it's a good to have skill. Next one is, certification is helpful in interview process. We can get certificate easily in various platforms. Those will be helpful in interviews. Like if you get just a certification for the sake of certification, it will not help. I personally believe like the certificate, if you are getting by completing some good project or by completing an internship, that holds a value. Otherwise, like it's just a text on the resume. It will be helpful, but not very much. Try to get certificate of an internship or like that. Yeah, so I think pretty much that's it, and we are over for the time. For the question about big data, Geeta Madhvi, you can ask me on any platform outside the seminar. I'm really sorry because this question is huge and it needs to be explained in detail, so I can't do it within the constraint of time. Okay, so if you want to note, you can note my email ID and my contact number, and you can contact me anytime. So yeah, so that's it from my side. If any more questions, you can ask me on any platform, or you can write me an email, or you can call me, so like that. Just last one I will take. How do we apply for internship? Himanshu, can we just share an email regarding this, like how to use our platform?
Yes, Ramesh, after like once the webinar will be over, like we will mail all the students.
Yeah, I think many students have the query regarding an internship, so that we can help them out.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. Yeah, there's various more questions. I will just ask them very quickly. I came to know that Kotlin has replaced Java completely, and Kotlin is no, that's not the case. Kotlin is for the Android development, not for the Java backend development, and it really can't replace Java. It is only good for Android development, not for other purpose. I already know C, Java, MySQL, Python, and did 3 to 4 projects. What else do you expect me to learn? Get an internship. Like if you have these skills, get an internship for the same, and it will add like a star to your resume if you have these skills. It's really good that you have these skills. In campus interview, what does the interview mainly picks for Java, Python? I mean, which is the best to do? It doesn't matter, but I personally prefer, like if you're going for the big companies, Java is the major language that normally a developer use. So if you can, go for Java. If not, Python is also a great language. Python or Java, which is best one to learn? It's completely your choice. Does HTML have any scope for further? Obviously, HTML is a basic skill that any software developer should know. Which language is required for DevOps engineer? It's like the Bash script. Like you should know about how the Bash scripts work, C++ or like that. So I will just stop here, and we can take rest questions outside the platform. Okay, guys, thank you. Thanks a lot for attending this webinar, and really thanks for your time. Himanshu, over to you.
Thank you, Ramesh. I hope everyone has learned something from this session. It seems the session was interesting and interactive. A lot of students has interacted, and we are open after this webinar also. So you can contact us on our website, app, or through our mail ID. So now I would like to thank Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research for giving us this opportunity to host the webinar. And special thanks to Dr. Kalyamurthy sir, HOD of CSE department. So thanks a lot, sir. And here is a few opportunity for you guys. There is a lot of free courses on our app. You can take the courses and get the certification. App link I've shared in the chat box. You can download it, and there is a chances for you to get internship if you become part of our community group. For more details, please visit our app or site. And we are open after this webinar also. You can contact us. And I've shared a Google form in the chat box. Please fill it. That will be needed for your e-certificate, and your e-certificate will be mailed to you soon. In case of any doubt, you can ask now regarding Campus Veda, internship, anything, or we can end our session here.
Yeah, just one request. Please do fill that feedback form because that will be the mode of the communication for us in future. So please do fill that. Okay, guys. Thank you and thanks again. I will just drop off now. Thank you.
So okay, so here we end our session. So thank you everyone for joining us. Stay home, stay safe, and take care. Please fill the feedback form that will be needed for your e-certificate. Thanks a lot everyone for joining us.